A girl is going into a hotel. A security guard is checking cards, and another guard is also standing there. The girl arrives and the security guard starts checking her. Meanwhile, the other man begins staring at her inappropriately and laughing. The security guard places her bag on the scanning machine, and the machine makes a sound. The guard asks, "What is in the bag?" The girl says, "You can check it." The guard sees that it only contains the girl's personal belongings, so he gives the bag back and says, "You may go inside." But the other man says, "Wait." The security guard says, "Let her go." But the other man walks up to the girl, touches her hair, stares at her disrespectfully, and says, "Show me your bag." The girl becomes worried. The security guard again says, "Let the girl go." But the man replies, "You stay quiet and let me see." The girl says, "I will not let you check it." The man grabs the bag and is about to take out the girl's personal items when she snatches the bag back. The security guard becomes angry at the man. The security guard tells the man again to let the girl go, but the man replies, "You stay quiet and leave from here." Then he takes the girl away with him. The security guard takes out his phone and calls the manager saying, "I need to tell you something." The man makes the girl sit on a sofa and stares at her inappropriately. The girl says, "Please let me go." The man replies, "No." Then he removes her shoes and starts smelling them. The girl becomes frightened and uncomfortable. The man places his hand on her shoulder, but she removes his hand, stands up, and says again, "Please let me go." The man says no. At that moment, the security guard arrives and tells the man, "Let the girl go." The man argues with the guard and says, "Leave from here." The girl says to the security guard, "Please help me." The man walks outside. Then the manager arrives and says to the man, "You misbehaved with the girl." The man replies, "No, I didn't." The manager says, "The security guard told me everything." The man says, "The guard is lying." The girl thanks the security guard and says, "You saved me." The guard replies, "It's okay." Then the girl calls her mother, who is actually the owner of the hotel. The manager and the man enter the room. The manager says to the girl, "What were you doing with the security guard?" The girl becomes shocked. The manager says, "What were you both doing?" The girl replies, "Why are you accusing me? That man was misbehaving with me." The manager asks the man, "What is she saying?" The man replies, "She is lying. I didn't do anything." Just then the owner arrives and asks her daughter, "What happened?" The manager becomes shocked after seeing her. The man lies again and says, "I didn't do anything." The owner says angrily, "She is my daughter. How dare you misbehave with my daughter?" The man says, "I didn't do anything. The security guard is the one who misbehaved." The security guard says, "I did nothing." The security guard starts checking the CCTV video, but the man snatches the phone and says, "Let me go. I didn't do anything," and then runs away. The security guard runs after him. The manager apologizes to the owner and says, "I didn't know the truth." The owner says, "Fire that man from his job." Then the owner thanks the security guard and says, "You protected my daughter's honor." If you like the video, then please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.